What's up, YouTube? It's Joe Catchpolia sitting on the couch, making some money, investing in fractional real estate online, as usual. It is Friday morning, so it's time for this week's installment of the 52-week challenge, where I just tell you about every piece of fractional real estate that I bought this week. We're just doing this to, there's a whole bunch of us. A lot of you guys share with me through DMs, but some in the comments and some in Discord. Just talking about what we bought each week, sort of an accountability group, but not exactly. But just to make sure nobody's getting stuck with the analysis paralysis, just sitting there looking at deals but never pulling the trigger. So to start off, I bought 2 properties on Lofty. The first one being 10157 Winkler Drive. I'm not sure if I've talked about this one much before. This is a pure value play. It's a single family home in St. Louis, Missouri. Tokens are trading, right around $9, right? I mean, these are, you can't always just look at the discount from 50. But if you look at, if you look at the value of this property in the real world, you look at all the debt that we have on it. I mean, there's just not, It's hard to imagine losing money when you're getting something so cheap, and I believe that if we sell this one in real life, that there'll be a significant pop. There is some concern about water getting into the basement or in the foundation. Obviously, that could be a big expense. I still even taking that into consideration, this is a deal I feel very comfortable with. Keep in mind. Before I forget, please like and subscribe. In the description to this video, I'll have links to all the places where I'm currently investing in fractional real estate online. Please feel free to use those links, check out the sites, get some free money on the ones that are actually paying it. Not all of them that say they do, but also do your own due diligence on every one of those platforms and any properties that you buy on there. Just because you see me buying on a certain platform or certain properties doesn't mean it's the right move for you. So you want to dig into them, really understand what you're getting, because it's not always as it seems, right? And a lot of the sites, Lofty in particular, the interest that you have in the property is not always exactly what you'd expect. The structure with the debt might be different than you think. There's also, the condition might be different from the way it's described or the pictures, because, this was listed a long time ago, and a lot of the properties, managers haven't given updates over time, and there's lots of surprises that could really tank your value. So make sure you're really digging in, finding out everything that you can. Just don't buy just because I did. Also in the description to this video, you'll see a link to the Discord I have set up. We talk about all the different platforms that we're investing in fractional real estate. So please feel free to join that, jump into any of the discussions. All right, let's move on. Okay, so again, pure value play, single family home in St. Louis, Missouri on Lofty. Second property I've been buying tokens in this week. If you've been watching my videos at all, pretty much every single week I've bought at least a couple of tokens in this one. It is, again, it's a single family home in St. Louis, Missouri. Again, we are currently trying to evict the tenant. These tokens are quite a bit higher than that other property, but at least earlier this year when we put that tenant in there weren't a whole lot of issues. We have had some, there's some question about where did this operating reserve come from, the big negative. It's moved up almost $4,000 since earlier this year, and I have no idea why that happened. Waylick, the property manager, doesn't know. So we've got to get to the bottom of that. But even with that, assuming any reasonable sale price once it's vacant, and I think that we'll do okay with this purchase price. It has gotten a little bit worse since I started buying this one heavily, as far as this number just keeps creeping up and I don't know where it's coming from. The tenant wasn't all, I started buying this long before even that tenant was in, so that, that eviction, I think it's possible that I'm not going to do amazing on this one, but I still think it's priced at a point where I'm not really going to get hurt. And, I'm trying, this is the one that I have the largest percentage interest on any of the Lofty properties, trying to exert some control. Whenever we have had votes, there's not a ton of voters on this one. So it's just want to make sure that we get this one pushed through to a sale. I did a longer video about why I like this one and some other ideas for it. If you just search this address, you'll see that, 7014 Raymond, if you haven't watched that already. That's everything I've been buying on Lofty. I actually sold a lot more tokens on Lofty than I bought. I got out of one liquidity pool, although I did put some money in another liquidity pool because I've actually been doing a little bit better on those. I might do another video with some updates on it, but it is, I mean, they're still, somewhat just sorcery to me, right? It is, I'm still not sure if I'm just getting lucky or if I really understand the things that I think that I do. But started to do all right with those. More so by buying into the ones that have USDC shortages and then, getting the bonus for buying into those and then just cashing out at the right time, right? And so I do still have money trapped in a lot of them. But having a couple of successful exits from there, getting a little bit more confident. So I don't know, I might start talking about those a little bit more. It's definitely not my area of expertise, so probably not. I don't know. If anybody's interested in talking about those more, I'd love to do it. Also, if somebody feels like they're truly an expert in the liquidity pools and wants to come on the channel and talk to me about it, I'd really appreciate that, because I'd like to ask tons of questions and get more than like sort of surface level answers, right? More than just, well, this is what the white paper says, because obviously I read it, I did a little video about that, but I think there's some nuance, especially because they didn't follow the white paper exactly when they set the pools up on Lofty. So anyway, that's everything that I bought on Lofty. I bought a couple of LROs, like pieces of notes on, of mortgage notes on ground floor. Just 3, just little pieces of when I had other ones pay off. Just, using the auto reinvestor. And I think that I'm going to have a couple more go through tonight. That just didn't yet, because I have cash in the account right now, which I don't usually, maybe there's just not any open that I don't already own pieces of, so it won't allocate that. And I'll have to take a look. But so up to 102 loans. I actually think this is the same number as last week, because I did have today 3 or 4 pay off, and I only bought 3. So I guess that makes sense. Anyway, starting to appreciate ground floor a little bit more again. Although I'm not sure why I had so many that paid off today. If we keep having batches pay off so that I can't, grow this number to, my goal is to have between 150 and 200 loans so I can have really broad diversification on here. I think, with debt, that's one of the main, when you have a debt investment, I just like to have that, that's the strategy I'm using on here, especially because they're short term. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to do lots of due diligence, and then have it, as far as a return on time to, it's tough to make that work if they just keep paying off quickly, right? And then the only other thing I bought this week, I didn't buy anything on Sol's Lot, which is the only other place where I'm buying quite a bit, but I bought something on Mogul. I've talked about the Swift quite a bit. I did a video on it. It is a short-term rental in Glendale, Arizona. This is one I when I first did the video, I said, I'm definitely going to buy some of this. I sort of waffled on it because some of the short-term rentals didn't do so well this last month. But this is a different market than those. It's a different price point. It's a smaller one. It's one that I really like how it's set up. I mean, I think it has absolutely everything that you could hope for in a short-term rental. They've got really great design. It's got it's got a pool. It's got outdoor spaces. It's got the little outdoor chess set. They're little place to do some putting, pool tables, card table. Really just everything that you want. Packed with amenities for such a small property. So I just imagine this is one that's going to do well. Again, just because I'm excited about it doesn't mean that you should invest in it, right? Maybe watch the video that I did on it. Do your own due diligence beyond that as well. And see if you think it's going to be one good for you, right? But it's just 3 bedroom, 2 bath. but they're packing a whole bunch into that. And so, in my experience with short-term rentals, that's what really kills it, right? Like, I mean, if you have a party that is going to look at this single, this little home compared to another one in that market, this is just, we just have all the amenities here, right? And so I think that's good. There's a little bit of it left, which is I wanted to wait on this. That's been one of my strategies on Mogul, is just, okay, I decide I'm going to buy it. If it's not selling out too quickly, I like to wait a little while, right? Because time value of money, there's no reason to buy it right away. It doesn't change when I start to get paid out on it, as long as I'm still buying it before it closes. I did want to make that clear. If you buy it after the property closes and it's operating, because there are some that are still for sale after that because they haven't sold out the full value of the full value yet, then whenever you buy into it is going to determine how much of the dividend for that month of operation that you're going to get paid. So yeah, that is everything that I bought this week. Feel free to share what you bought. Jump in the Discord, put it in the comments. If you don't want to say specific properties, especially on Lofty, where you're moving the price when you're bidding on that versus somebody else, feel free to just talk about the areas and the strategies and any of that. I think the more that we can share stuff as a community, really sort of hone our skills as a group of investors. That's why I'm doing these videos, right? So we can all complain to platforms together, right? When we want people to change something. We can sort of have a concerted effort and have similar talking points, right? Like, okay, this is what we don't like, and if they hear the same thing from a whole bunch of us, I think that's helpful. But also too, I managed to avoid getting hurt on Landa because other investors in their Discord were talking about it, and some people reached out to me through Discord, and I think even in the comments in some of my early YouTube videos. I really appreciate that, right? Saved me some money. And so the more we can do that for each other, I think the better off we'll be, and the better this industry will become. So please do share that. And that's it for today. Until next time, I'm just going to keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.